Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Wilkie, thank you for being with us, and we really do appreciate your service very, very much. I've had the opportunity to serve on the House or Senate VA committee since I came to Congress, and over the years, I've seen the VA go repeatedly through pains of implementing many new programs. This Congress, we passed significant legislation that will bring, quote, fundamental transformation to the VA. As you know, when the VA fails to properly implement programs, these committees become the backstop to ensure resources are surged to mitigate the impact to the greatest degree possible. During a staff briefing about how the VA is going to fix its implementation of the forever GI Bill monthly housing stipend payments, the VA was unprepared to answer basic oversight questions about how much funding had been spent on failed attempts, how much funding had been spent on efforts to react to the problem, and what lessons the VA had learned from the situation that it can take forward to other implementation efforts in the future and underway at the current time. These aren't hard-hitting questions. These are just the basics. More to the topic of this hearing, Milcon VA staff had a meeting with your staff to get an update on where the department is with determining access standards, a key factor that will have an impact on our VA funding levels. When I hear that one set of information is provided to authorizing staff, another set of information is provided to appropriating staff, and a different set of information is provided in briefing to all committee staffers, that's a problem. And I agree with you totally. The VA is filled with truly wonderful people. But when your staff comes over without their act together, with no semblance of transparency, that reflects on VA leadership, which you have direct control over. You know that it just works better when we can trust each other and work together. We simply don't have any other choice. For fiscal year 19, the Congress appropriated $5.2 billion for the Veterans Choice Fund and $9.4 billion for community care. Can you tell us what the current burn rate is of community care in the choice programs?
It's I don't remember the exact number. We can get it for you, but it's somewhere.
We've gotten two different ones, 460 or 340.
Yeah, it's my understanding is it's around 460.
Okay.
And that,
yep.
but we'll get back to you with the exact number.
And you're saying under current estimates, funding is sufficient. I guess the next question would be, if it's not, and times have come up in the past when it wasn't, how does VA intend to address any possible shortfall?
Well, I would certainly come to the Congress with that, but let me talk about the burn rate for a second. One of the things that we saw with the Choice Act is that many fewer veterans decided to take advantage of it than was originally projected after what happened in Phoenix. Of those veterans eligible for 100% care outside of the VA, less than 1% took advantage of that. That number of veterans is in the 3,000 or 4,000s. So every trend that I have seen indicates that we are well positioned to take care of choice funding for the rest of this year.
As the VA develops regulations that will govern things like rates and access standards for the Mission Act implementation, many decisions will have significant budget implications. Certainly those do. We understand VA continues to explore multiple options ranging from TRICARE standards to variations of choice and Medicare Advantage. What is the estimated budgetary impact of the range of options? When will you be prepared to let the committee know how much you expect Mission Act compliant community care to cost annually?
Well, Senator, I expect to be up here as soon as the President approves the recommendations that I give him. In terms of the access standards, I perceive them to be a hybrid of several of those programs that you just discussed, CMS, TRICARE, and that we will come to a conclusion based on the combination of those standards and what is best for veterans. But I will be up here as soon as the president approves the access standards.
Good. Thank you, and thank you, Mr. Chairman.